Welcome to Avi's Kosher Kitchen. I am Avi, and or should I say Avi's son, because we are making a beautiful sushi, or actually a tuna dish. It's not really formally sushi, it's going to be a tuna tower. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, let's say l'chaim as we always do. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagefen. It's a beautiful white wine, courtesy of our friends at Barbanel and kosherwine.com. Kosherwine.com not only has this beautiful unoaked Chardonnay from our Barbanel, but they have such a vast selection of wines. It's amazing, and the prices are phenomenal. They ship it right to your door, and you're going to love them. So check them out, hit the link, and see the selection. You're going to find stuff you didn't even know existed, and it's all, of course, kosher. So we are going to take some of this. This is a minced tuna. Minced tuna is courtesy of our friends at Java Tuna, just like the coffee, Java Tuna, okay? This comes in a pack, already minced up, in other words, sort of ground, but it's not a fine grind, okay? And this is perfect for making tuna burgers and so on and so forth. But today we're making a tuna tower. This is something that you get usually in a Japanese restaurant, a nice dining experience type of place. And really all it is this raw sashimi grade tuna with a little bit of a sauce on it. We're gonna make a really nice Asian aioli, kind of gingered, a little bit spicy. Some people call it spicy mayo. I like the aioli term, it sounds fancier and all like that. So let's get going, okay? By the way, I'm gonna tell you about the tuna as we do it. It's a phenomenal line caught, dolphin safe. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, first I've got just a plate mixing cup. You don't have to use a mixing cup. We're not measuring anything. We're just kind of eyeballing and tasting. But you want to have a nice cup that you can put your immersion blender into, okay? So make sure that the opening is wide enough before you did it. I was actually one time doing one of the videos, we went to make a nice sauce, and I realized I'd put everything in something and it was too narrow to fit the immersion blender in, and forget it. If you don't have an immersion blender, use your regular blender. You could use a whisk, although it's really tough on the wrist and the hands. I like the immersion blender. I have in here, this is not orange juice, this is 3 egg yolks. Look at how that pours out. Okay, we're actually going to use 4 egg yolks. So here's my egg. Here are my egg whites. Just gonna crack the egg over here, open it up slowly, let the egg white drip in, okay, and then the egg yolk go here. Now, of course, when we're in a kosher kitchen, we check for blood spots in the yolk, make sure there are none, and of course, there are none, otherwise I wouldn't use it. Egg yolk goes in here, shells in there. Egg whites we put aside for a nice meringue that we're going to make at some point in time. We'll have to check in for the recipe on that. We've got a nice key lime meringue that we're going to be doing. That's hopefully you're going to see the link here. Anyway, I've got 4 egg yolks. To this, I'm going to add a tad of sesame oil. Okay, just like that. And we have here some roasted garlic. Now the oil, you can see that I have a video, by the way, on how to make the roasted garlic. Just take, and we just want the oil. Okay, just a little bit of that roasted garlic oil in there. It's garlic infused in the flavor. It's nice, sweet, nutty from the roasting and so on and so forth. Immersion blender. We're going to start the process. Okay? Just whip that up on high. Okay, you can see it already starting to get a little happy in there. Okay, but we're not done. There's plenty more to add to this. Okay, just wanted to get a little bit of the cream going. I've got a little bit of salt. Now some lemon juice. Okay, it's fresh squeezed lemon juice. Give a nice lemon flavor to it. Let that go. Now you can see that oil's really kind of emulsifying and getting nice. Now to this, we'll get the board a little dirty. That's what they made rags for, right? Okay, to this, I've got a little bit of ginger, a little fresh ginger. And of course, the thing we need for fresh ginger is a grater. And there's no grater. So hang on one second. I'm always forgetting something. Here's a grater. This is a fine microplane grater. We'll use that. We don't want the ginger to be too big. That's good. Oh, the fresh smell of the ginger. Yeah, that really, really is good. Mix that in. Now, with age, that ginger is really going to pick it up a little bit. Now, remember, I told you it's going to be a little spicy. So, in order to make it spicy, we got to make something, add something spicy. I've got my hot sauce. I use this on my buffalo wings. It's a homemade hot sauce. Real simple to do. Somewhere around here, again, another video for this. This is just a combination of a number of different peppers, jalapeno, sriracha, so on and so forth. These different peppers that have been pickled in some vinegar, and of course, you've got the famous, name is that pepper? Begins with a P. Cayenne, that's it. Well, P-C, sounds like it's cayenne pepper, okay? So we're gonna take a little bit, add this in here, and just squeeze this in. Now the cayenne pepper sauce, of course, with age, that gets better. And now we're going to get a little bit more of that orangey color that we're used to seeing in the aioli. A little bit more. You really want to get that in there. Now the best way to know if you're on track with this, and the only way to really know, is to taste it. And my friends, that's what we're about to do. So here's my tasting trick. I take a spoon, pour it into my tasting spoon. That way there's no double dipping. Wow, got a nice kick. Sesame balance is good. I'm gonna throw in a little bit more lemon. Want to just have that freshness and a little bit more of that lemony flavor to it. Blend it in here. Now I'm keeping my blender up and down to get a little more air into there. That air is gonna just help fluff it up. And there we go. And now let's give this another taste. Wow. Lemon, acidity, beautiful. If you wanted to add a little bit of sweetness to it, I would go with my old standby, a little touch of pure maple syrup, but I'm not going for the sweetness, I'm going for that little kick. Now here we have our minced tuna. Now the Java Tuna, by the way, it's all line caught off Indonesia, out in the Pacific. It's all dolphin safe, dolphin friendly, and it's really, really a wonderful thing. From the kosher perspective of this, there's a mashgiach on board the ship. So he is certifying that the tuna is 100% kosher, that it's really tuna that they're using and not another fish that looks like tuna, which is why you gotta be careful when you're buying tuna from a kosher perspective. They take the tuna, process it right away. It's caught, processed, cryovac, and flash frozen instantly. So this is really, really fresh. And all we're gonna do is take some of this beautiful lemon ginger aioli, pour it right on top here. Okay, we're gonna pour it right on top, just a little bit, and we're gonna take the chopsticks. And we're gonna just kind of mix this in, mix it in here real nice, and that's it. Beautiful tuna. And I'm gonna show you in a second a beautiful way to serve this, okay? A little bit more here, just to flavor it up. By the way, you know tuna is fresh when, first off, for any fish for that matter, the flesh itself is firm, and secondly, you know it's fresh when you smell it, and it doesn't have that fishy smell. And of course, when you're talking about something you're going to use and eat raw, like sushi, sashimi, or so on, the best thing to do, give it a little taste. If it tastes a little on the edge, you know it's bad. This, I tasted it before we started, and let me tell you, very, 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 very nice, okay? So here we go. We'll take aioli, and I'm gonna come back in a second, clean this up, and I'll show you a really, really nice way to plate this and present it. Be right back. Well, that was quick, and I'm back. So here we are. I told you we're gonna put this in a nice way to serve it. We call it tuna towers, so you think it's gonna be kind of tall. So rather than put it on a plate and just pile a big pile of minced tuna, or put it in a bowl like this, and people look at it and they go, let's make a nice presentation. I've got a little aperitif glass here. Aperitif, you know, you can put a little limoncello or a little liqueur and something like that. But here, we're gonna do our tuna tower. What I'm gonna do first off is I've got a little avocado. Just gonna put a little slice of avocado right in the bottom, okay? Give it a little bit of color there. Now, we're gonna just take our tuna and put it right in, okay? And you want, when you do this, you want to make sure that the tuna really kind of is up there, a little bit elevated, a little bit higher if you can, because this really looks kind of, it's going to look a little bit nicer in the presentation for somebody. Okay, and now a little bit more of this avocado. Here's a nice thin bit right on top like so. Okay, put it right in. Very good. And now we're just going to take our aioli and you just drizzle just a little bit over there, over the top, like that. And if you wanted to take a little cilantro leaf or something like that to put a little extra green right in there, we can do that. And there you have it. Tuna tower with Java tuna, fresh sashimi grade tuna. Goes perfectly with this beautiful Chardonnay from our Barbanella and our friends at kosherwine.com. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know which one of these to grab first and say l'chaim with, so I'm going to say l'chaim with both. Enjoy, and see you next time. L'chaim.